Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to Websummit Vancouver. My name is Taylor Simone. I am a film and TV professional, journalist, correspondent, and radio host from Vancouver, BC. I'd like to thank you for coming to our talk, AI in aisle 5. I've got Caitlin Allen here today from Simbe Technologies, Senior Vice President. Simbe Technology is a retail technology company combining robotics and computer vision. I'd also like to welcome Wayne Liu, Chief Growth Officer and President at Perfect Corp. Perfect Corp is an AI and AR-powered beauty and fashion company that is transforming consumer experiences. So let's get started. Let's start with the store of today. What are the biggest shifts you've seen in how retailers are using AI to meet rising customer expectations, especially in light of economic pressures like tariffs and supply chain volatility?
Sure, I can start off with that,
Sure,
maybe, Wayne.
sure.
So, hi, everyone. It is so good to meet you. First time in Vancouver and absolutely love the city. So the biggest shifts that we are seeing in retail's use of AI and automation, and just to give you brief context, we have retail robots and other sensors that check what's in the aisle, is in stock when you want to go buy it, and also make sure that the price tag is correct. So the biggest shifts that we're seeing are where retailers early on in their AI journey are moving from reacting to problems to being proactive about solving them. And then our clients who are maybe farther along in their journey are moving from being proactive to being predictive. And so maybe if we take a step back, I can paint the landscape a little bit of the challenge that I get to help solve every day. Retailers are the crucial link between products and the people that buy them, and yet they lack ground truth about what's going on inside of their stores. And they struggle to answer very simple questions like, where are products located? Are they in stock and available for sale? And is the price correct? And that's a big problem, in particular when you consider the fact that 85% of online orders are actually filled in physical brick and mortar stores. I'm sure that you've had the experience that I have had where you might have ordered a grocery order on Instacart and 50% of your order is either substituted or not found, or maybe you go to the store and you want that one brand that really matters to you and it's not there. The reason that that exists is there's a manual way of inventory management right now, which literally what happens is retail workers walk up and down aisles and they look to see if price tags are correct and if stock is available. And I don't know about you, but I consider that fairly monotonous work, and it's really hard to do boring work well. And that statement is backed up by the top reason that retail workers quit is related to those manual inventory checks. So to answer your question again, the posture of moving from reactive to proactive is instead of store teams going to look for problems with our robots and the AI and computer vision of our technology, they're able to tell their teams where to go solve the issue rather than go look for it. And then the more sophisticated retailers who are farther along in their AI journey are able to do things like automate reordering before problems even emerge.
From my perspective, I think the most important one, the shift, is really the integration of the very fragmented data. Because for the retailers, some of them have almost 100 years of history, right? So they get lots of the data. And this data is, some of them is very unstructured, and some of them is even the graphic or the Excel data. But with the AI, especially the generative AI, like a transformer, right, and then even the reasoning, the chain of thought, it can really understand and try to analyze the data and start to getting the insight of this used to be like a very, very siloed data. Okay, so that's why I see the biggest shift is really on the integration of fragmented data, and also especially in the era of this very uncertain, right? So things can change in 24 hours, even 12 hours. So you have to have this capability to dynamically understand the data and then start to make the decision and then start to react. So that's why I think the biggest shift is really about the servings of the generative AI and the integrating of fragmented data.
Caitlin and Wayne, your companies serve very different ends of the shopping journey, from inventory management to digital try-on experience. How are back-end and front-end applications converging to create a more seamless retail experience?
Yeah, so I guess it's a very exciting part of this is really about, you probably heard about this in the past 3 days, agentic AI agent. Because what I see here is the agentic AI, it really changed the landscape of generative AI. Because think about this, although it's much more powerful, but I see this more like a SaaS, right? So in the SaaS, you have a server, you have this client. But with agentic AI, you pretty much a client, you can act as a client to send a request. And then also probably you can do the transaction, and you can do in the customer facing. And on the other side, the LLM, which LLM itself, they cannot do anything. But you have to have somebody to start to orchestrate all the activity. So that's why it seems like serving as a backend and the front end. Just in our cases, we work with many retailers, say like a Sephora, right? So we do like a skin analysis. On the very front end, we scan your faces and we analyze your skin. However, the thing is, we need to recommend the data. But one of the problem is, if it's out of the inventory, how do you recommend a product with, you don't even have the data there, the product there. So that's why combine the back end and the front end with agentic AI, so it's really powerful. You can do customer facing, and in the meantime, in real time, you can start recommend the product from the back end. So that's what we see here.
So from our end, inventory management, the front and the back end are converging through a shared goal, which is trust. I met a woman last summer named Glenda. She's got these bright cerulean blue eyes, white hair, and is the most amazing woman you've ever met. And I fell in love with her immediately, particularly when she told me that she takes her 2 grandkids to the grocery store every day, or nearly every day, to see our robot and to get a candy bar or a donut with her grandkids. And a couple months into our relationship, she shared that that's not just a meaningful thing that she does as their grandma, she's also their surrogate mom, because they lost their mom a couple months before that. And if you think about it, when Glenda shows up with her 2 grandkids, and if the candy bar is not there because the back-end system didn't work, they don't care. All they know is they've had a disappointing experience. Same thing goes for retail workers. They just want to do their jobs well. And most retail workers, according to surveys, are in their jobs because they want to serve shoppers, not do monotonous things like walk up and down aisles. And then from a different perspective, the supplier lens of things, their job is to make sure that the products that we want to buy are on the shelf with promotions that are appealing. And all of those things are only possible if front-end and back-end AI systems are in a continuous feedback loop where there's continuity between inventory and experience.
How are retailers balancing the push for operational efficiency with the need to offer more personalized, emotionally engaging shopping experiences?
Thank you. So personalization and engaging emotional experiences are just a fancy way of saying that people buy from people. We always have. I was in a grocery store with a center store manager recently in Grand Rapids. Her name's Diane. And center store, for those who don't know, are like the cereal and the cans and cracker boxes. And she was a sight to behold. Anytime someone walked by, it was like, oh, Sally, the yogurt that you usually buy is now on aisle 2. Tom, how was your son's football game last week? 1, Diane is just really good at her job, but 2, Diane is able to be really good at her job because she has hours back every day because our robot Tally goes up and down the aisles and does the work that she used to need to do with perfection and with operational excellence. And we hear that from our clients all the time, that high tech enables the highest touch experience, and that operational excellence is effectively just a foundation for personalization and for emotional experiences, much like 2 sides of the same coin.
Yes, in our cases, I think the supply chain operation efficiency and the customer experience, they can coexist side by side with the advance of technology. For example, so right now, because all this the tariff and all kind of thing, the cost of goods sold become very expensive and can be very sensitive. So what you want to do is try to minimize the physical inventory, try to minimize the sample. So what you can do is using AI to pretty much do a digital prototyping, okay, virtually. You don't even need to have a product. You do digital prototyping with all the data, and then using AR to make it real, virtually real. Just like Google announced in their I/O last week, right? So they talk about this AI apparel try-on and also these glasses. So that's why what happened here is you create a virtual prototyping and push it to your community and see how they react. If they like it, you probably what we call is like a build to order, right? So if you like this product, you start to go through the value chain and start to create this product and ship to the customer. You don't have any waste because what happened is your customer already love the product, they're guaranteed they will buy it, and then you start building that. So that's how using technology like AI and AR try to make the efficiency of the operation and in the meantime, enhance the customer experience.
Caitlin and Wayne, you're well aware that consumers are becoming more digitally fluent, as well as time and cost conscious. How is AI helping both shoppers and retailers make smarter decisions to meet these needs?
Yeah, so personalization is the ultimate goal, right? So you want to see the demographic of one. That's why we usually say, it's only you. You don't have any, you are unique. You want the retailer to see you as a you. It's very unique. AI can really help, as we said, with all the data and then all the analytic technology, so we can understand who you are, what's your preference. However, in the meantime, the retailer, they can aggregate this data. So they are using AI to make a personalization at scale. Okay, because they collect so many data, they can analyze the data, and they can help them to do product decision, and then when they do the selection. So that's why when you're using the AI, you do the personalization at scale. So retailer aggregate the data and provide the best personalized service for you as a customer.
Yeah, to your question, Taylor, shoppers are more digitally fluent, and they're also that much more likely to be digitally frustrated if the experience that they have in brick and mortar locations doesn't match what's online. And that's not a store UX problem, it's a fundamental disconnect between the physical world and the digital one. And that being said, when physical commerce is digitized, shoppers and store team members and many others can make much smarter decisions. So here are a couple examples. Our shoppers, when they show up and they have their shopping list on their app or their phone, they'll then get guided tours through a store where they can go in pick order and get their items in the fastest way possible, where digital shelf tags will light up when it's the next thing that you're supposed to get.
Yep.
Similarly, store teams that need to fill online orders have the same kind of pick path, except you think about like a BJ's or a Costco or a Sam's, those are massive locations, and so the amount of time savings can be massive as well. And some of our customers have actually cut that time in half. I've mentioned the automated reordering and demand forecasting that retailers can do, and then for the first time ever as well, merchandisers and suppliers are able to make data-driven decisions, because up until this point, they've just heard about what's on the shelf about a month in arrears, or they have to send people out, gig workers, physically to go take photos of the shelf. So those are very near-term examples, and they're part of the reason that I get so excited about ones that are coming quickly, because in the near term, retail's not going to be omni-channel anymore. It's going to be connected to our social profiles as well as our digital homes, right? You think about the people you follow, the things you post, your smart fridge, your wearables, your connected devices. They all have context on what you order, what you eat, what you wear, what your routine is, what your budget is. And as we move towards a world of agentic commerce, where intelligent systems are going to be ordering for us, taking those contexts and our privacy and our settings into consideration, it's a really exciting world to me, and it also underscores the need to digitize the physical.
So let's look ahead in the next 3 to 5 years. What do you think will feel normal in retail that might seem cutting edge today? Is there any unexpected applications of AI that you anticipate emerging in the retail sector?
Yeah, so every major channel of commerce has an S-curve, right? There's slow adoption and rapid acceleration and eventual maturity. And in those inflection points, the rules get rewritten, and it's those that act fast that are the winners of the next era. And you're as familiar as I am with the Blockbuster Netflix example. Brick and mortar retail is the Blockbuster of today. And the Netflix trifecta, so to speak, is e-commerce and social commerce and agentic commerce. And we're rapidly moving into a direction where stores aren't going to guess what we need, they're going to know what we need. And point of sale information today is something we all use in retail. Inventory data is going to have similar foundational value for us in the future, and it'll power everything from design layout to supply chain to merchandising, and commerce is going to flow from the shelf to the home and the supply chain in between, and stores are going to become these living ecosystems that are customized, to your point of personalization, to exactly what you and I might need, the recipes we might want to be suggested, the offers that we might want to receive, and all of a sudden it's going to get back to that kind of one-to-one model that we're talking about.
Yeah, for me, so 3 to 5 years for AI is very long. We don't know what will happen, so what we'll see. If I have a crystal ball, okay, I'll see Samantha inside. Do you know who is Samantha? You see the movie, Hurt? Right? The her moment actually is coming. What I mean by that is the movie is in the 2013, it's about 12 years ago. But what the movie described, Samantha, is AI. But this AI is different because he's more like a she or he. He can understand you. He start to have an emotional connection with you. Okay, you probably hear, wow, that's scary. But the thing is, when you're using ChatGPT, what do you want ChatGPT to know? You don't want to repeat yourself again. You don't want to introduce yourself to the ChatGPT again. You really want the ChatGPT to understand who you are, remember all the conversation. So that's why you save lots of time. So that's the herd moment. So what I see here is probably not only the retail, but in every many different aspects of the AI, it starts to create this personal connection, the trust with the AI. So AI not only just become a product recommendation engine, it become more like your assistant, right? Personal assistant. They not only recommend product, they know which product fit you at the right moment. They know your emotional status. They probably can tell, get the cue from your gesture, from your tone. They can understand you. So the AI become empathy. Okay, so this become the best. So the retailer really doesn't need to have a recommendation engine because they know who you are, and then they know what you like the best. So that's why I see probably in the next 3-5 years, or even shorter, the her moment, we will have emotional connect the AI. Probably it will be everywhere.
That's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you all for coming to watch us talk, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Web Summit. Again, thank you so much, Wayne Liu from Perfect Corp, and thank you, Caitlin Allen from Simbe. And my name is Taylor, and we'll see you around.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.